I find it interesting that the Blaze, because I heard the story of Chris Lane over the weekend, and I said, do me a favor, can we find out exactly? There's I always send stories back to our reporters and to our editors and say, there's something missing here. Can you tell me what that is? Mm-hmm. Can you tell me what that is? What's missing in this story?
And they do it every time.
Do it every time. Every time.
So you almost are guaranteed that if the race isn't mentioned in a story like this,
it's because
they're black.
So I send it back and I said, nobody is telling us anything about the kids that said they were bored. Well, first of all, I don't buy that. I half buy that. They were also angry if you read their tweets. Stu, can you give us some of the tweets and things? This story, in case you don't know, Chris Lane on Friday night was a visitor to our country from Australia. And he was an athlete, and he was just walking down the street. And he was shot and killed. And it seems like such a senseless kill. What happened? What happened? And the story is that 3 teenagers were out and they just decided to kill him for sport. They just decided to kill him because they were bored. That was the story. And didn't have any names, didn't have any pictures, didn't have anything. And so I sent it back and I said, something's missing here. Tell me anything about these kids other than they were just crazy teenagers. Tell me anything about them. Can you? Well, I could find it. I found the story. Not on the news. Not in American news. I found the story in Australia. And I sent it back to the editors and said, tell me about this one. Does Australia have the story right? And if so, why is no one reporting this story? Knowing the answer. It doesn't fit the American news agenda. Authorities now have formally charged 3 teenagers yesterday afternoon for gunning down Australia student Chris Lane, just for the fun of it. James Edwards, 15. Chancey Luna, 16. Charged with first-degree murder and face life in prison. They're being held without bond. Michael Jones, 17. Reportedly charged with using a vehicle to facilitate the discharge of a weapon and accessory after the fact of murder in the first degree. He reportedly said in court, I pulled the trigger, but the judge told him to remain silent. The boy cried, and his bond was set at $1 million. 3 teens will be tried as adults. A social networking page appearing to belong to Edwards revealed a video of Edwards brandishing a gun, as well as multiple photos showing piles of cash that he says belongs to him. I can't even read. I can't even read what he said in the video. The other photos have surfaced, reportedly showing what appears to be a handgun and a large bundle of $100 bills, allegedly belonging to James. Now, how did James get the money, and how did James get the guns? The photos are amazing. A Duncan Police Department declined to comment about the suspects to the Blaze on Tuesday. Spokesperson for the District Attorney's Office, also available comment time of publication. Twitter account appearing to belong to Edwards' girlfriend tweeted out support for the accused killer. James, a.k.a. Bug, I love you, baby. You can't see this, but you're not alone. We'll get through this together.
Oh.
Will we?
That's sweet.
That's really sweet.
That's sweet.
That's nice.
Has the president made a statement on this? Did he?
Oh, yeah.
Did he come out and say that if I had an illegitimate love child with a white woman, he might have looked like Chris Lane?
He must.
I'm sure.
Why haven't we covered that?
I'm sure he's probably made that statement by now because you certainly
right off
want
the
to.
beach.
You want to identify with him, right? You want to create that solidarity.
The parents of the teens reacted on Tuesday. Mother of Chancey Luna, Jennifer Luna, refused to believe her son pulled the trigger. They say it happened at 3 p.m. I get off at work at 3. It takes me 5 minutes to get to the house, and he was already at home. The father of suspect James Edwards said his son must be innocent because his son told him, I didn't have nothing to do with it. Well, I think he's catching him in a loophole because that's a double negative.
He didn't have nothing to do with it.
Are you lying to me,
had
son?
Something to do
Dad,
with it.
I didn't have nothing to do with it.
Wow.
Mm-hmm. He's not going to be accused of being a liar. Now, where is?
It's like a confession. Really,
yes, it is. Where is Al Sharpton? Where is anybody else? Where is anyone? Where is the outrage on this? Now, this story is really about two things. One, teenagers that are. Do you have the tweets, the angry tweets? Do you have any of those still?
Yeah, I have one of them here. Just hours before this happened, this guy who's supposedly just bored, no animosity towards anything. I have never been this mad in my life. And then hashtag pissed.
About what?
He doesn't admit what it was, but it's curious that you would be as angry as you've ever been in your entire life hours before this happens, and then it's, they're just bored.